Timbaland, Rihanna. I didn't really get too much into German art because why would I visit an American high school? But I also listen to a lot of my mother's music, and that's like, whatever New Yorkers listened to in the 90s, so like a lot of Sting, a lot of the guy with the purple spark thing on his, probably like Prince and Queen and stuff like that. I don't know, it's a lot of stuff. Which doesn't mean that I'm like influenced by them to an extent, because I think that's been kind of washed away by like tons and tons of reels and new songs and remakes. And then when that song was well received, I kind of got into it a little more, and I wasn't really out for success, even though it had been my lifelong dream, but instead I tried to, create something new with my music. And well, I had some friends who played League of Legends with me. And it happened that one of those friends had a twin who was also into music. And oh boy, there was this one night where things kind of went south. I don't really want to talk about it, but things happen. Why did that happen? I'm gonna have to reform this arm. I went way too far this way, so you know what, I'm just gonna make it bigger. That works. It's a big arm. So basically, I was a troubled child. I wanted to make music so bad that it got to the point where it was like, okay, make your dreams come true. Started pirating a lot of software. And at the time, I didn't realize that I was being watched. There was a consensus that I was a bad artist because I was stealing a lot of things. And then my defense was obviously that by stealing, I was really just doing what every artist at the time does, which is reuse your work. But props go out to all the programmers who made that software that I did not pay. And I thought, once I get famous, once I hit my goal or whatever, I can pay them back. I never did. But for some magical reason, I only had to pay a small fine, and didn't really have to pay the consequences for my actions. So I don't know, kind of started out as a fallen angel myself. So I'm thinking, how do I fix this? Because the hand is supposed to go here, and the other hand ends here. So no arm is that long. Yes. I'm going to make the arms even bigger. Yeah, that'll work. Anyway, so what I started doing once I had found my first muse, and also a little bit of back support for what was to come, I started going out with the main goal to get into Berghain, the cultural epicenter of Berlin. Okay. It's probably no one that cares, but hey, you know, I'm glad I can talk about it. It's self-soothing. Self-soothing is very important if you want to make it in the world. And so I did not get into Berghain. Never did. And I've talked about this a lot, but mainly I was in it for the dream. And did that dream come true? Perhaps. Can't really tell anymore. There's like a lot of dreams. Cha-ching. Anyway, I've talked about this enough. I went out a lot, club after club, song after song, rave after rave, guy after guy. Kind of explored my options and explored myself. Things are a lot easier these days with social media, but also harder because sometimes there's the possibility you become a meme, and then it's downhill from there, I think. So I don't know, I often ask myself the question, if I wasn't in Berghain, there was always people taking pictures and videos and stuff, right? So besides the nasty stuff that I spread myself on Grindr and stuff, don't look it up, there must have been this image is just getting worse. Wait, hold up. Bigger hands. Sorry, that's my neighbors. They're very protective. Actually, I have no idea if this thing has sound. I hope so. Otherwise, it's just silence. Put some music over it. You know, my art teacher always said never erase. I've said this a lot. I've also said that I've jumped off a 10-meter diving board, and that the chandelier that's hanging in my room is only held up by a tiny lock that I bought from my locker at uni. But this is the reason that I don't enjoy erasing. I wasn't done with that. When I get nervous, I just tend to skip to the next thing. Anyway, what we're gonna do is the head. It's a very particular head. Now I have too much turpentine, and the color is all messy, and this is not the right paper for oil paint. I've been having this idea of creating a big ass Renaissance painting, like a Leonardo type thing, angels and demons and oil paint, blue skies, and these big projects can be very daunting, especially so. I am taking my time and gathering my energy till the time is right, and then, go ahead with that. So, anyway, when I realized that, I wasn't gonna get invited to another after party, because, as I said, not everyone understood what I was going for with the whole clubbing lifestyle, and also, I wasn't getting anywhere, I wasn't getting any exposure, I wasn't making any new friends, and the old ones were making a lot, so I felt kind of left behind. There was one particular day at a festival where I was kind of dragging behind, and I had a really rough night. I was like basically screaming in my tent all night because I just couldn't handle the pressure, because I knew that, when you're at the bottom, you either have to fight your way back, or, you just call it quits, because, there's other options, like I could have asked for help, but, basically took some drugs, broke my heart, and then left things at that. I'm sorry, the whole story is just so much. I can't talk about every single night and every single adventure, so you're just gonna have to face the fact that the love wasn't there, and I wasn't there, and now all those people have completely disappeared from my life. I know that they're somewhere, probably still in Berlin, my friends, but I think it's best if we don't talk. I tried, but not really, because I was doing my own thing. Now, what that led to is me going a little insane. I went to a psychiatric facility because I had a drug-induced psychosis, and that has its plus sides and its downsides. First of all, psychosis, and I've also said this a lot, is just a bullshit sickness, because if you have it, probably won't go away. You're always imagining things, for example, people telling you that you need to calm down, that you're sick, and then people do tell you to calm down when you're sick. And at some point, I've come to the realization that, there's a lot of good in the world, there's also a lot of bad, and if you're at the very bottom, obviously there's going to be pushback from the top, so you can never really be too sure if something is well meant or not, and there really is no reason to just believe everything that is told you. So in itself, psychosis kind of tells you to just follow, and that there's no way out, and that you're stuck in this prison of your own mind. And I understand that, if there's worms under your skin, you should go to a doctor. But maybe a little demon or two doesn't hurt.